You know, something weird happened just a few minutes ago. I wrapped up making a video talking about some topic that in which has not been uploaded yet, but after I recorded that video, I took a look at what was next on my plate, and then I realized, oh boy, we have to make a Why I Want. And so today, we're going to be scratching that video that I just made. We'll upload that tomorrow in the morning. We'll upload another video about the Canucks later today. But in this edition of Why I Want, we're going over a guy whose profile is just so great. I love this prospect right here, and I'm really interested in seeing how exactly he is going to translate after being drafted into the NHL. What is up, viewer of the Russian Villax back here? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Why I Want, the show where we take a look at 2021 NHL eligible prospects and we talk about them in a conversational form. Thank you to those in the previous Why I Want who commented all night. If you want a chance to be featured next time, then hey, stick around to the end of this video. But today we're talking about the guy who probably boasts one of the best names we have seen in any of these drafts in a very long time. Hailing from Minnesota, let's go over a guy who didn't really play a good chunk of this season, the USNTDP's 18-year-old Chaz Lucius. Now this is a crazy good name, and his brother, Chaz Lucius, also has a great name too. But names aside, Chaz Lucius is one of the most interesting players in this draft, particularly because of his journey here. As we noted, he didn't play a ton this season. He only played 13 games for the NTDP, and the reason for that is because he was sidelined to start off the year with a lower body injury. Disregarding the injury, though, Lucius is a 6 feet tall, 172-pound center, but the fact that we didn't see any of this guy for the first half of the year pretty much was a pretty big halt to his draft stock. However, it's the fact that he did take this time off, and what people are saying about him and his overall approach to dealing with this injury that I find an extremely underrated part of this conversation too. Chaz Lucius, if you disregard the injury, is an absolutely offensive dynamo. In the 13 games he played with the NTDP this season after returning to the squad following his lower body injury, he had 13 goals and 20 total points. He was a goal-a-game guy, the best goal scorer for the NTDP this season, arguably. I mean, they had a lot of players who played the entire year, so they have more goals than Lucius does. But Lucius is a guy who, ever since playing for the NTDP U17 team last year, has been showing himself off as one of the best goal scorers, if not the best goal scorer, in this draft. The big highlight that everybody remembers from Lucius from 2019-20 was when he was all alone in front with the goaltender and he did the through-the-legs move. But wait, there was a catch, because when he did the through-the-legs move the first time, he actually pulled it back forward in front of his legs, and he faked the goalie out that way. He went backhand, through the legs, back out in front of the backhand. He faked the through-the-legs move, and he scored a goal that way. That was the big thing that kind of put him on the map last year, but hey, still, in that full season's worth of play for the U17 team, 31 goals, 46 games played, not bad in the slightest. I will leave a link in the description to a video that I saw on YouTube here, a Chaz Lucius scouting report from Dauber Prospects. It's uploaded by a YouTube user named HK Scouting. This video is crazy. It goes over a whole bunch of highlights with Lucius, and it breaks the highlights down by talking about what he's doing right in these plays, what he's doing wrong. And in this video in particular, there is a mention at the beginning that when it comes to his pros and his cons, his overall ability to create offense and his lack of pace, so to speak, the comparison they used was Tyler Toffoli. And you know what? When you hear Tyler Toffoli, in my mind, you know I'm a Canucks and a Habs fan, it clicks, you know? I just kind of get it. I just know what kind of profile we're dealing with here. And now when I watch Lucius tape, I watch some of the highlights, watch the footage, what he's doing good, what he's doing bad out there, I just see Tyler Toffoli, man, and that's a really good compliment for a guy who is out here with a whole bunch of mystique, I guess, around his draft year. Because since his draft year was cut short, there indeed is a little bit of a conversation I wanted to have about that as well. Here's Scott Wheeler on The Athletic. He posted his own story written out about Chaz Lucius and how he bounced back from missing out half the season. This guy has himself the mental fortitude of an absolute warrior. A quote here reads, "No BS, no coach speak. His mindset is on another planet. He's not human. I've never seen it." Wheeler says that he doesn't like to comment on how these prospects are after writing these stories in The Athletic, but every so often he is blown away about how people talk about a prospect. Last year, it was Perfetti. This year, it's Chaz Lucius. Wheeler spoke to a lot of people for this piece, and there's something different about him than his peers. There's an excerpt from the article written here, and it's just totally going over Lucius and his mental towards the game. He has such a bright and strong mind that this guy didn't let the injury take him off his course. He came back to the NTDP and he showed off all the skills that he had when it comes to his absolutely lethal shot that he can take out from anywhere on the ice, to his really underrated playmaking. One of the big moves that I noticed from Chaz Lucius is that when he's on the half boards, he's got a knack for either taking the puck into the middle himself and creating a scoring chance, or just knowing where one of his teammates is and feeding it off that way. When the puck is on his stick, he's got some deceptive abilities to trick defenders and goaltenders into thinking he's doing one thing when really he's got something else in mind. He's not the fastest or the most explosive guy in the world, but what he does have is a really good deceptive body language ability to open up new passing lanes and scoring chances that way. When he doesn't have the puck, he's really good at finding open pockets of space, slipping into the cracks, and getting one-timers off. His shot's really good, so no matter where he is on the ice, he needs to get a low shot down. Okay, he's got it. He needs to get a quick, up-high one-timer down. Yep, he's got that too. Lucius is a cerebral, all-over-the-offensive zone kind of guy, and defensively, he's honestly not bad. Several times watching the tape, you can go out there and see Chaz Lucius legitimately giving it his all on a back check, making it so that his defenders don't have to defend off 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s. He joins the defensive rush and gets involved, either takes a man or tries to swat the puck away. He's got a really aware game at all areas of the ice. And when I hear all of this stuff, it's kind of crazy because in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, that's Tyler Toffoli right there. Not the fastest guy. He can get shots off quickly. He's got good offensive awareness. Lucius even does the toe drag on the rush several times, like Tyler Toffoli did in game whatever it was. The Habs won 1-0 against Winnipeg. Game 2? Yeah, something like that. But Chaz Lucius is a guy who, if you take a look at the rankings, his rankings are going to be all over the place. He's got a consolidated ranking of 13. He's ranked 18th by Elite Prospects, 12th by Future Considerations, 19th by the Neutral Zone. But the ones that have him up top are the ones that are really believing in him. McKeen's has him at 10. NHL Central Scouting, 12th for North American skaters. So that's like 19, 20, 21 if you include the European list. Sportsnet has him at 10, 14th by Recruit Scouting, 16th by Dobber Prospects, 13th by Draft Prospects Hockey, 25th by Smart Scouting over here, and 16th by the Puck Authority, 9th by TSN and Bob McKenzie as well. So the official TV outlets are a little bit higher on him than other outlets are. But you gotta remember, a lot of these lists coming out here haven't really been updated. And the fact that Chaz Lucius did miss out on half the year did cause his draft stock to tank a little bit. Ever since returning, though, with that strong, just eager, willful mentality that he has, he came back out here to the NTDP and showed off that he hasn't lost a step. All the things that made him great before are all the things that are still making him good now. He's a goal-per-game guy, for crying out loud. In fact, going over the NTDP records, there haven't really been too many goal-per-game guys ever on the U18 team. Cole Caulfield was over a goal a game in 2019 because of course he was, but then you have the others. Phil Kessel was a goal a game in 2005. And that's about it. Granted, the sample size is a lot smaller for Chaz Lucius this year, but still, it doesn't change the fact that amongst other NTDP phenoms like Austin Matthews and Wallstrom and Matthew Tkachuk and Jack Eichel and Patrick Kane, he had a higher goals per game than these guys. He may not be the next Alex Ovechkin or whatever, but It's kind of weird that this guy's overall ability, you know, when I see the Tyler Toffoli comparison made in that video that I think you should definitely watch, for some reason, you know, it clicks. I see it. So assume you're getting a guy like Tyler Toffoli. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the most efficient guy in the world, but he creates offense. He's a 200-foot player. He gets involved in defensive rushes and even more involved in offensive rushes. Where do you take this guy in the draft? I've been seeing a ton of Flyers fans out there, specifically Flyers fans, saying that they really want him where they're picking at 14th overall. But I mean, if the Calgary Flames or the Vancouver Canucks or the Ottawa Senators are out there looking for the best goal scorer in this crop of guys, Chaz Lucius, man, might be your player. So, talk to me in the comments what you think about this player over here. Last time we did All Might from My Hero Academia, so you know what, today we're talking about snipers like Chaz Lucius is. Comment in the comments section below if you made it all the way to the end. Lady Nagant. And that is spelled exactly the way that I said it. If you know My Hero Academia, you know who this is. Talk to me in the comments what you think you enjoyed. This was Josh Wilson 99. And bye.